So, where to begin? Because your guys are going to get a triple feature Mauler style. So, I did this thing called the double checking, and no, the EFAP did not cover weapons. So, the thing with Mauler was apparently he cares about plot holes, but he's working with Eric July and magically can't find no plot holes in his stories. I wonder why. Anyways, so Mahler made his reputation making his very long Last Jedi videos. And like many people, I was actually a fan. I was like, oh, that seems very impressive, looking through the plot holes. But then I started actually looking at, well, The Last Jedi, and a lot of these alleged plot holes are not plot holes. You're just not paying attention to the film. That brings up a question. What is a plot hole? Is a plot hole even a real thing? And if you think I'm going to go Patrick Willems, no, no, no. Patrick Willems, who's a much more famous YouTuber to begin with. Let me be very clear. He doesn't need to cover Star Wars every 3 seconds. But Patrick did an essay on plot holes. I thought it was terrible. So I agree with Mahler that Patrick's video was really bad or kind of missed the point. However, Mahler's pretty stupid and evil neo-Nazi clown man. And as I knew it, because I just saw Weapons, and that is filled with tons, and I mean tons and tons of plot holes. EFAP doesn't care. They're busy making fun of Superman. They're busy making fun of Tron. And after a while, you understand the grift. They're basically targeting mainly these big superhero films, just these big, big franchise films. They're not interested in film. Now, they're willing to cover other films at a, well, speedy rate. So now they have these things called the EFAP Mini. Remember, Mahler's nickname is the Long Man. So now the Long Man is 50 minutes. It used to be 7 plus hours, 8 plus hours, 10 plus hours. We're going to do an hour for Chucky. Oh, that's another thing. They're covering horror movies. Before, they rarely covered horror movies. Probably the only exception would be Alien and Aliens and the Alien franchise. Otherwise, they didn't really care about horror movies. But now, they cover horror movies. Weapons is a horror movie. Why aren't they covering it? Don't know. So, yeah. But let's get to it. Let's get to Weapons. I lost count, guys, of how many plot holes. So this will be mainly on the mostly I'm going to concentrate on plot holes and try to work through it. Try to be honest with the film, but right away alarm bells are going to start coming up. So the basic thing with Weapons is all these kids go missing magically at 2 a.m. and we'll get to why. So they mysteriously just go away. That's the film for a long time, and the town goes crazy. They blame the local teacher, right? Because it's her class. There's only one kid, Alex, who came back. The other kids disappeared. It is a local issue. And yeah, someone mentioned this, and I didn't even think about this at first. Yeah, this would be a national. It would be an international story. Imagine that: 17 kids simultaneously disappear, simultaneously. But in this film, we concentrate mainly on one parent, Josh Brolin. One, and a lot of the people are like, "Yeah, it happened, but we don't really care." Okay, and I get what the director's doing. He's obviously making a moral allegory about many issues, how child panic is phony, people don't even care. We see throughout this film, right? People have drug addictions, they're corrupt, they're stupid, they're evil, they're prejudiced, they're prone to hysteria. So I get the thing the Weapons is trying to relay, right? It's a metaphor, not just for America, but all these communities get thrown into a panic and get very self-righteous, but they're filled with idiots and morons and bigots. I get the thing. I get that. But just in terms of the narrative, so many questions come up. So many questions come up. Apparently, this is like a massive town. It's a normal town, right? Filled with people and presumably pets, but somehow there's just not a great canine unit ready to go. The FBI is what, busy? The FBI would be handling this immediately. So they should have like squadrons of federal agents here. Nope. And let's get to the thing, because the revelation is, oh, it's all an evil witch. So a local witch woman done took all the kids to get their life essence. You would think, hey, maybe take just a couple kids, one or two or three. But no, she needs to take over a dozen kids. Okay, all right. Why? Also, she's able to zombify adults. Okay, and we see this because we see one of them is a major character. There's like a local drug addict who apparently is very hated. Why don't you zombify him, steal from his life force? Hey, here's a better idea. Get 4 kids, because these kids are powerful. When they're zombified, they can do a lot of damage. Take 4 to 5 kids, right? We don't need like 12. Get them, beat up the local drug dealer, zombify him, take him to the big house, and drain the life essence. See, that's more plausible. At least that's we're in the ballpark of plausibility. Nope. Which woman zombifies a cop? So apparently, cops can go missing. No one cares in this reality. You know, the cops have these thing called radio. If you go missing, they're gonna radio and say, "Hey, what's up with the guy? He hasn't checked in." But apparently, for a whole day, a cop goes missing. Nothing happens. And also, which woman in public dresses like the Joker? I'm not joking with you. She clearly has a wig on. And apparently, part of the horror here is, oh, clown makeup. I mean, I am just like, I'm losing it. I am so losing it with this film. This is so lame and stupid. And to be consistent, Rian Johnson also puts out some pretty insanely bad films in terms of plot. Like Looper is very similar to this film. It's nice, it's stylish, it looks good, it is well directed, has good performances, but the plot is so insanely awful. I mean, it is degeneratively dumb. And to give Ryan a lot of credit, at least he put out a video trying to answer some of the questions with the time travel, with other inconsistencies. I didn't believe him. So I would give Looper like a 4 out of 10 because at least that had like what? At least 3 to 4 major plot holes. I think Weapons easily has at least 50 major plot holes. I mean, this thing is just brain damage. And just from the open narration, it's just stupid. Because Alex, who's the narrator, says, oh, these kids never came back, but they literally come back at the end. They come back at the end. And there is a major inconsistency with Josh Brolin because Josh Brolin was zombified, but he's fine. So a lot of the kids are really damaged, but Josh Thanos is like, he's okay. Maybe it's an allegory about white male privilege. Because Josh Brolin has a shady past with women. Like, this is like a deep feminist critique. Like, this is what people complain about. The Last Jedi is so feminist. Oh my god, I'm getting so triggered. Why do they have all these lesbians? Oh my god! And the Acolyte, lesbian witches. Like, that is not a major problem for me in any film, period. But hey, become Mauler saying, yeah, I don't understand how no. Why is she so gay? Plot hole. It's like, okay, and listen, you got to admire the skill of the guy. He's made himself really rich and made a lot of money being really stupid. Say, oh, they got hold of me that got Star Wars. Yes, because a universe filled with space wizards and space witches. We can't ram. We can't have ships ramming into one another. We can't do that. It's never, even though there's actually a canonical novel that goes into it, because Mauler can't do any research at all. Oh no, it better be in my film. Oh, well, that's objectivity. It's a 1 out of 10s. Uh huh. Uh huh. However, actually having a brain, even if something has massive plot holes, if it does have good elements, you can't say it's a 1 out of 10. So is this one of the worst films of all time? Yes. Is it the worst film of all time? No. I'm gonna give Weapons 2.5 out of 10. And by the way, again, I'm not even here to defend The Last Jedi. That's not the point of this video. But The Last Jedi does address that question. Who is or what is The Last Jedi? This film has weapons, technically, I guess. If you think of fork, sticking it in your face is like a weapon, I guess. Drugs are a weapon? What is weapon? What are the weapons? Are the kids the weapons? Are the adults the weapons? The magical systems? That's never addressed. Just weapons. It's all dark. These kids disappeared. Okay, I guess as a premise, but then you by the end of it, we still haven't. What are the weapons? Why? What? Why even title? Is it supposed to be that? It's so dark and artistic. It's like a Kafka novel. It is not. It is a really lame, badly ripped off Stephen King story that is so assured of its own cleverness. But it's like really, it's like oh, local magical plot hole is doing everything. It's like oh, okay. Disappointing. 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 But I am emphasizing Mauler because Mauler will be making more regular appearances. I'm sorry, I've become kind of notorious for putting out Mauler videos. I kind of let it go, but we're gonna get back to that. Yeah, I saw his thing on Romulus, so I actually recorded kind of them. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and rethink his really bad criticisms because yeah. And by the way, Romulus does have problems, but let's be fair here. And there are some upcoming announcements. Tune in for that. I know people really like the Bill Burr stuff and Norm Macdonald stuff. We're going to get back to that. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening.